Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about The House of the Seven Gables, written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. So you have Colonel Pinchian. He wants to build the House of the Seven Gables, and the land that he wants to use belongs to Matthew Mall. He asks Matthew Mall. He tries to get it from Matthew Mall. Matthew Mall doesn't want to sell it. He doesn't want to sell the property. And basically, Colonel Pinchian, he accuses Matthew Mall of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials. And Matthew Mall gets hung, and as he's dying, he curses Colonel Pinchian. He curses, Colonel Pinchian and his whole family. And Colonel Pinchian ends up dying in the parlor of the House of the Seven Gables after it's built. Um, Thomas Mall, he's the one that builds the house for the Pinchian family. He also built the panel, the behind the painting that hid the deed for the land holdings in Maine that everybody was looking for throughout the work. So the story does go along, and we follow the families along. So again, this feud, this I don't know what you can call it. Is it a feud? Is it a dispute? Is it an argument? But the Pinchian family and the Mall family, they don't see eye to eye. There's bad blood there. Colonel Pinchian accused Matthew Mall of witchcraft, killing him just so that he can obtain his property. And Matthew Mall, as he's dying, he curses the family. So you could see that these two families are not seeing eye to eye. It's not good stuff. Okay, so we fast forward. Clifford, he gets accused of killing his uncle, and the uncle, Clifford's uncle, he was about to give the House of the Seven Gables to the Mall family because he recognized what his family had done in the past to the Mall family. And he was going to right that wrong, but then he ends up dying in the parlor of the House of the Seven Gables, and Clifford gets accused for it, and he gets sent to prison for 30 years. Now, Joffrey, another member of the family, of the Pitchin family, he could have stopped Clifford from going to prison, but he had much money to gain, and if Clifford takes the fall, he gets richer, and so he doesn't do anything about it. And so Joffrey gets money, gets all that good stuff when Clifford goes to prison. And Clifford's sister, Hebzeba, she gets the House of the Seven Gables. She has a shop in the house. In that shop, she makes money from that shop. Clifford does get released 30 years later, and Hebzeba and him, they live in the house. You also have Holgrave, who's pretty much a renter there. And another member of the family comes along by the name of Phoebe. And her and Holgrave, they do get married later. So a little son happens between them, and they do get married by the end of the work. And Clifford and Hebzeba, they live in the house. Joffrey, he ends up dying too in the parlor. And Clifford doesn't have, he's not so sad about that because, he knows that Joffrey could have done something to keep him out of prison, but Joffrey didn't do anything. In fact, we could even say that Joffrey wanted Clifford to go to prison because he had much to gain. So, you have Colonel Pitchin, you have the uncle, you have Joffrey, they all die in the parlor. And the curse is real, man. The curse is real. And basically with Phoebe and Holgrave getting married, the feud does end between the two families because Holgrave is a member of the Mall family, and Phoebe is a member of the Pinchian family. They get married, and Clifford and Hebzeba and Holgrave and Phoebe, they all inherit a bunch of stuff from a bunch of people that died in their family. They have lots of money. Between the House of the Seven Gables, between Joffrey's estate, because he died, so his estate is left to all of them. And so they actually all leave the House of the Seven Gables and go to Joffrey's estate. So again, they have lots of money and everything ends up very well for the whole family. And the whole thing is over by the end. So the House of the Seven Gables, between the money, between the House of the Seven Gables, between the deed of the land holdings in Maine, and looking for it. It was actually, again, it was behind the painting in the House of the Seven Gables. That's where the deed was. But by the time Clifford and Holgrave, Clifford discovered it and Holgrave knew about it. It really didn't matter. They had the House of the Seven Gables. They had money. They had all these things that they had inherited. So it really didn't mean anything anymore because they were all good. So Colonel Pitchin, he dies. The uncle that wanted to give the Mall family the House of the Seven Gables, he dies. Clifford had to go to prison for 30 years, and then again, Joffrey dies in the parlor. And by the end, the dispute, the bad blood is pretty much over because again, Phoebe and Holgrave, they get married. Clifford and then Hepzibah, they can lick their wounds with all the money and all the property that they've inherited. In terms of deeper meaning and analysis, the House of the Seven Gables is very fascinating. You see this dispute and the eeriness of the house. Again, when you do something in bad blood and it's never easy. You kind of face these consequences that you don't want to face, and the curse itself, the people dying, the greed, the ugliness of how it impacted all these characters. Ultimately, we do come to a nice ending, and we see this marriage between the Pincian family and the Mall family, and we see Clifford and Hepzibah, inheriting a lot of property and money and things like that. So it has a good ending. But all these men, Colonel Pitchin, Joffrey, you kind of see the greed and how that affects people and how property, nobody actually keeps property because every generation comes and goes and dies. And the curse, you see how it affects people. And we see the eeriness and how much the cost of manipulation, betrayal, money, how it can affect people and how it can really corrupt people. So again, there's a lot that we can take from this novel. A lot it says about the people, but the House of the Seven Gables. I mean, the house itself. It says a lot about greed. It says a lot about what people will do for money. And again, a lot of money in the world, a lot of wealth in the world. It's bloody money. It's bloody. It's dirty money because the house, it's supposed to be an estate for the family, for the Pitchin family. It's supposed to be, a house that symbolizes their wealth, their prestige, their class. But really, the house was a curse, The house was a curse because of how it was gotten, all right? The house really destroyed their family and killed a lot of people in their family. Sometimes having so much money within a family, it's not a blessing. Sometimes it's the thing that tears you apart because Clifford, Joffrey, the uncle that died, Colonel Pitchin, Hepzibah, they have to worry about their wealth and finances so much that they're devouring each other. The vast amount of money that this family had, it wasn't a blessing onto them. They weren't rejoicing over this wealth and power and money. They were just like, they all were, well, except for maybe Clifford and Hepzibah, the rest were just trying to up one each other. This family was supposed to be living in the lap of luxury and enjoying life, enjoying good times. But because they're all so suspicious of each other, Joffrey didn't care if Clifford spent 30 years in prison. Joffrey didn't care who died as long as he got his money. And you see this, throughout the work It's the same thing with the colonel. The colonel didn't care who died as long as he got his house. Now the uncle that Clifford, um, you know, was pretty much accused of killing, he wanted to, um, turn the house over to the Mall family. But when he wanted to do that good deed, he dies. And so again, sometimes the world tells us chase money, chase wealth, chase success. But sometimes that wealth and success is the thing that ends up killing you. It's the thing that ends up devouring you. And the House of the Seven Gables, again, the title itself, the name of the work, the name of the house, it sounds so grand. It sounds heavy. I have to tell you, if someone told me, yo, I live at the House of the Seven Gables, that's a heavy, or like I live at Boltram Manor, or I live at the Palace of Horton His a Who, whatever you want to put there. When you have such property and you have such estates and you have such things like this, it's heavy, man. It's heavy. And family members, when they're left with so much wealth and so much prosperity, oftentimes they're prepared to kill each other to obtain the wealth and property. So sometimes these types of fortunes end up being what consumes your family. So that's what's so ominous about the house. That's why it's so eerie. Because what do you think is a blessing? What do you think is what's keeping your family success and a status to the community? It is the very thing that is killing you, that is suffocating you, that is turning family members against one another because everybody wants a big piece of pie. Everybody wants a big chunk of money, right? And that's why that so many people kept on dying in these families. But ultimately, again, um, you do get a happy ending. By the end, Phoebe and Holgrave, they get married, so the feud, the dispute, whatever you want to call it, that's over. And Clifford and Hepzibah, they do get a better life. And yeah, that's the work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.